We move to the second important trade. Another team making a push. Contender in my eyes. A team that went to the finals last year. Miami pick up Victor Oladipo. So they obviously get Vic. On the other side of things, the Rockets, they only really receive Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a draft swap. That's peanuts. Bray, this is your team. How are you feeling about the Heat?
Like better than the Bulls. Their moves are objectively better because you mentioned it, Ed. Like 2 first-round picks, you didn't think they were getting that. It's probably too much. One, the Bulls are laughing. Two is a bit much, especially as you mentioned the East is deep. But for Miami, all they've done is strengthen themselves. They give up Avery Bradley, who hasn't played because he's been injured and because they've already got some really good young guards. Great. They give up Kelly Olynyk, who had been good for them. But personally, I don't like him. He was a bit of a sieve on defense, not that the kind of clip of shooter that you want. It didn't sit well.
Injured Kevin Love as well.
Huh?
Remember that? Injured Kevin Love.
Oh, I thought you said traded for Kevin Love.
No, yeah. Really bad injury.
The shoulder.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Blimey. But yeah, so anyway, he wasn't for me. It's just a great trade for them. They add Oladipo, who, granted, is probably just going to be a rental for half a season. He's probably gone after that because I don't think they're going to pay him unless, they're going to do some serious funding with the cap. They've got a lot of money committed in a lot of places. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think he's expressing interest about being in Miami anyway, and you know how infectious that culture is. I really like it for them. They get an extra scorer to make up where the likes of Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, and Tyler Hero have been a little bit lackluster this season. He's someone you can rely on a little bit more, you'd hope. And on any given night, if you've got that list of guys, one of them's got to be scoring, surely. So it helps you shore up on that side. And yeah, Houston didn't have a leg to stand on because they knew he was out of there. It's not really this trade that's bad. It's the trade to get Oladipo that's bad for them because they should never have wanted to end up with Oladipo in the first place. If they get Karis LeVert out of that trade, for example, they're absolutely laughing. They would have got way more for LeVert.
Altira, from watching Vic from a really young age, and now he's at this stage in his career where he obviously wants to win now. What do you think that he provides to the Heat in terms of their trying to get back to the finals?
He's like, as the years have gone by, he sort of switched rather from when he was younger, he was a lot more attacking, whereas now he sort of settles for jumpers more, which is generally the direction of the league anyway. But and he can have those games where he goes off and he can be that guy, and he'll definitely be someone to help out Jimmy Butler. I mean, what the Heat will have now is good problems to have. You've got like tons of players in the backcourt now, and they're all going to be competing for their spot. So I think a lot of players in the Heat now will step up because of him there.
I think also
so they don't want to lose their spot for him coming in. So
it matches up quite nicely in the East now, just thinking about it, because you would say arguably some of the best teams in the East. You've got Milwaukee, Boston, and Brooklyn. All of them have got elite wings or guards that need defending. They've got Jimmy there who can hold down one of them, and now they've got Oladipo there who can help as a secondary on-ball defender, and they can switch, which will be really, really nice. Seeing that matchup, I imagine a Boston versus Heat matchup will be really fun because it just feels like so much athleticism on that court, a lot of switching, and I think they match up quite well. So I think even from that respect, it's quite good. But what Bray was saying, it's just these 6-month rentals or half a season rentals, I don't ever remember like these good of a players being available halfway through the season on expiring. It's always maybe maybe third or fourth tier players, but you can class Oladipo as a second tier player. It's surprising that, I don't know, it feels like there's so much more talent being traded, and it's like you give up all these assets for what? Like Kawhi Leonard made sense because at least it was a year, and you know what, they got what they wanted at the end, which was a title. But if you don't get a title, it feels like a stupid decision.
Yeah, but you're completely... Go on, Richard.
At least with this, they haven't given up too much for the rental. And if it doesn't work out well, then they'll clear quite a lot of cap space out of it. It's not the worst rental.
I think Iguodala's expiring as well, isn't he? I think they're gonna end up getting a fair amount off their books. And obviously, the one thing that we haven't talked about, the person that they've got that the Boston Celtics don't have is Bam Adebayo, who is a young player who's an absolute monster and someone you want to build around. So this move allows them to go smaller, which I quite like. They're going to struggle against the Sixers, I think. But
do you know what? I wouldn't say that. Bam defends Embiid really well.
Yeah.
And he also, when Bam was a rookie, he matched up against Embiid in the playoffs, and I thought, and he was coming off the bench at this point because Whiteside was actually starting for them. And I thought, this guy he can handle Embiid. Like, not in a sense of like completely shut him down, but yeah, he can force Embiid to make tough passes. You know, it would be harder for him to get to his 30 points than, let's say, going up against, I don't know, Brooklyn.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I like it. I think we're all agreed in that. We like what the Heat have done here. There doesn't seem to be too many detractors, really. Other than now, Spoelstra's probably got a hell of a job trying to find everyone enough playing time, keep everyone happy, and things like that.
Another note on the Heat, just before we move on, they also picked up Bielitsa as well. We don't really need to delve too much into that. And also talking about the amount of players left, the quality players, apparently LaMarcus Aldridge is favourite to sign with the Heat as a buyout. Obviously, we'll see how that progresses, and we'll talk about that in future weeks.